Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today is a very special episode of Splat from the Past, because about a year ago, I did an email interview. God, I haven't done those in quite a while now. I did an email interview with Judith O Dea, who played Barbara in Night of the Living Dead, and today she's going to be the first ever email interview to come on and do an audio interview because she's promoting her appearance at Days of the Dead in Louiseville, Kentucky, August 30th till September 1st. And I can't wait because I met Barbara a couple years ago, and it was just a big thrill for me. And she's a really sweet lady. And so it's going to be really cool. It's going to be friggin' awesome. So yeah, here is my new interview with Judith O Dea. Hey Judith.
Hello, Tommy. How are you?
I am just wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Oh, that is so spectacular. It's such an honor to finally have you on, because last time we did an email interview.
Here we are, voice to voice. You lay on me whatever you'd like.
Okay. So, last year, Night of the Living Dead celebrated its 50th anniversary. Was there an overwhelming fanfare at every convention and screening you went to?
Golly, people are always wonderfully responsive, so supportive. I cannot think of anything individual because every time I go, fans are just wonderful. And that we have been doing this for 50 years is astounding, I think, to all of us, those of us involved in the movie and fans alike.
Mm-hmm. Was that when the movie hit 20 years? Was that when you all started doing the convention circuit?
Well, I think those in Pittsburgh, most of the production staff and also the performers lived in Pittsburgh. I had migrated back out to California. I think they got involved far earlier than I. I think that might have been even before the 25th anniversary. We had the Zombie Jamboree celebrated in Pittsburgh. Great homage was paid to George. That's when I became aware that so many of my partners in the movie were beginning to do the convention circuit. So, yes, I think they began far earlier than I, maybe 20 years or possibly even earlier than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw on YouTube around 1992, I think it was, you and Carl Hardman and Marilyn Eastman and Tom Savini and a couple other people were on Joe Bob Briggs' Drive-In Theater doing a double feature of the original and the remake.
We were, and we had the best time sitting there watching it and then reminiscing. In fact, I have a copy of that tape, and it's delightful to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty good, I have to say. This movie has become so iconic. I realized the other day that the scary music in the movie was also in Michael Jackson's Thriller video.
Yes, and it really was public domain, I believe, so much of that music.
Oh, yeah, which, speaking of public domain, I wanted to ask you, I interviewed a lot of people from, 70s horror movies, and it seems that most of them, not a lot of them, but most of them didn't get paid or get residuals, and they're all very bitter about it. Are you bitter at all that Night of the Living Dead fell into the public domain?
Oh, no, I am not bitter. That was just an horrendous error that happened. Mistakes happen. Some are little and some are very big. This one ended up costing us an awful lot of money. But you know what? Mm-hmm. Good comes around, Tommy. I truly believe that. And here we are at the 50th. And just prior to that, just prior really to George Romero's death, the government awarded us a copyright on the restored Loma version of the film.
Mm-hmm.
That has opened wonderful new doors of commerce for the Image 10 group of people. Contracts have been signed for legitimate T-shirts and the like. Augmented reality games have been in the works. It's you'd think after 50 years nothing like that would happen, but as big a sadness and a mistake as that was not putting the copyright on, here we are 50 years later, and money is beginning to come back.
Oh.
I could never be bitter about it. It was just something that happened.
Mm-hmm, that's wonderful. So the restored version is copyright, but not the original.
That's right. The Museum of Modern Art version is the copyrighted version that now is in release through Criterion. It's a wonderful collector's item. If anybody wants to use that in a film or television whatever, they have to work through us. We now have a wonderful board of directors, people who care about the continued well-being, legitimate well-being, financial well-being of the film. And so they have to sign contracts for that. They must pay for it. We also have copyright or trademark, I should say, on the characters.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody shows a character on a T-shirt that looks like me portraying Barbara, that too is now protected by law.
Wow.
It was never that way for the last 48, 49 years.
Wow. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, to copyright that wig that you were wearing.
The fall, you mean, wasn't quite a wig. It was a fall.
You reminded me in that movie. You reminded me so much of of one of the blonde girls you'd see at the Playboy Mansion in those days on that Playboy show, Playboy After Dark.
Oh, good heavens! I don't know what to make of that because I sure as heck who thinks to me like that.
Well, I don't mean anything like that, but that's how they looked in those days. The young girls with the hair like that.
Yeah, long hair, blonde. You're right.
Yeah. I was curious. Did George ever offer you any roles in any of his other movies?
No, he didn't, Tommy. I have regretted that over the years. I would have loved to work with him again.
Yeah. In my opinion, and I've told this to everyone who worked with him, I think Day of the Dead was the last great movie he did, and then I think he got kind of demonetized by the studio system, and his movies didn't quite live up to his vision anymore.
Well, because I am not a study of the horror genre, yes, I'm an integral part of it, but I like to beg to differ.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Night Riders, I think Martin, were films of note. Different. I think Creepshow was another film that has stood out to many people in the genre. So you may have a point, but I also think that George he made over 13 films in Pittsburgh alone.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them were for big studios, too. In fact, George really preferred to do his own independent, controlled films.
Right. Yeah, Night Riders, that was a great movie. That was like one of those movies that was really out of left field, because I've heard of Civil War reenactors, but not Camelot reenactors.
Well, see, go.
Yeah, let alone the ones who ride motorcycles. Yeah, that was a good movie. Although I know you can't talk about this much, but you are currently working on Night of the Living Dead Genesis.
I did that film about 3-4 years ago, Tommy.
Oh.
Matt Cloud has not finished it. I think he finished all major shooting, but I believe he's been caught up in other films, projects other people have offered to him that have excited him. He's finished a lot more films, but not Night of the Living Dead Genesis. I must admit that saddens me. I accepted that role because there was a unique twist to the storyline. He and I talked about that. That's really what convinced me to go ahead and take the role. I met some wonderful people while doing it. In fact, one of the fellows who played a cop who rolled me around in my wheelchair in the movie has just completed shooting his first feature film called Two Giggles, in which he had a part for me.
Oh, nice.
So I regret deeply that Matt has not found it in his heart to finish that film.
Oh. Wow, that's terrible.
In fact, why don't you send him an email via Facebook and say, what happened to Genesis? Why isn't it out there?
Yeah.
And nothing I seem to say helps.
Did George know about the movie?
I believe quite a few people in our production company were aware of it. I cannot tell you honestly if George was or not, because he was so busy doing other things that he really didn't give Night of the Living Dead, the progeny from it, much thought. I really don't believe he did. He was involved in new projects, and he must have left that to Russ Steiner or Jack Russo, some of the other people who have stayed connected with the film far more deeply than George did for quite a while.
Wow, I hope it gets finished and released and stuff, because I'd love to see, if you put a new spin on Barbara.
Indeed, there is a new spin on her. I would like to have you see it as well.
Who do you think played Barbara better in the remakes, Patricia Tallman or Brianna Brown?
Oh, I couldn't answer that. I don't think I even saw Brianna Brown. When did she do it? I know 1992, Patricia Tallman came out. When did Brianna do it?
2006.
2006. Boy, you caught me there, Tommy. I have not seen that.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, but I think that Patricia Tallman did a good job in the 1990 remake. She gave Barbara kind of a much more headstrong edge to her, and almost feministic like.
Well, that's the era we were in at that time, which made good sense that Barbara's character should have that kind of flair. But I think the 68 and the 92 totally stand on their own. You really don't compare them because they're of a different age.
Mm-hmm. You must have been happy though. At least she wasn't trying to be you.
Oh heavens, yeah. No, Patricia stood out as a Roman Barbara.
Yeah, because you probably would have thought to yourself, God, how is this girl going to pull off being me and stuff? And then when you see it, she's a completely different version.
Now I went to the premiere in San Jose of the film back in '92.
Wow.
Had a wonderful, wonderful time. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Wow, in San Jose. I'm from San Mateo.
Uh-huh. So now this is a change of subject, but let's talk a little about Days of the Dead. Tell me about that. I'm really looking forward to coming.
Oh, yes. So August 30th to September 1st, you will be at Days of the Dead weekend in Louisville, Kentucky, along with Kyra Schoen and Judith Ridley. And they got a great lineup this year that includes Elvira, Amelia Kincaid, the cast of Phantasm, Bill Moseley, Carmen Electra. That's a great lineup.
Right.
Yeah. So you're looking forward to? Have you been to this particular Days of the Dead in Louisville?
No, I've never been to Louisville. That's why I'm really looking forward to it. No matter where I have gone throughout this country, Tommy, I always meet the most supportive, wonderful people, and of all ages, not just those of my generation who were introduced to the film when it first came out, but their kids, and even their kids. I have met generations within the same family, no matter where I've gone. I look forward to those conversations.
Mm-hmm. What's the craziest thing a fan has ever asked you to sign?
Wow. Oh, boy, that's an interesting question, because I have signed some unusual things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? My brain is just a complete blank. But let's suffice to say that I have signed other things rather than pictures that I really enjoyed. I think I signed a robot once that was traveling to convention.
A robot?
Yeah, a robot from God. But, boy, I'll have to give that some thought. Thank you for asking.
Okay. Have you been invited to Living Dead weekend in September?
I have, but I am going to be out of country at that time. Unfortunately, won't be able to attend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hoping to make it out there one of these days. I heard it's a really fun show.
It is a wonderful show. I have done it twice. Of course, it's bringing together so many of us originals from the film. It's like old homies every time we get together. So I'm sorry I won't be there this year.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, one of the biggest thrills of my life was when I met you 3 years ago at Son of Monster Palooza, and I nearly made you cry when I told you that you were the first significant Scream Queen after the Universal era.
Oh, my. That was a wonderful show. I do remember it, and I had a ball. I'm glad you almost made me cry.
Yeah. Recently, I bought a this VHS copy of Night of the Living Dead off of eBay. It was from like 1984, 85. It's like one of the early prints of the movie. The box is so beautiful and so clean, like there's not a scratch on it. And next time you're in California, I'll bring it to you to sign. It's really beautiful.
Please, I would love to do that.
Oh, spectacular. Well, Judith, I thank you so much for coming on today, and I hope you have fun at Days of the Dead, August 30th to September 1st. And hopefully, if Genesis comes out, you can come on again and talk about that some more.
That would be a pleasure. And Tommy, thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, my pleasure. You have a great day.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Judith O Dea. Sweet lady. I love talking to her. Absolute sweetheart. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.